Hey there, Aiden. Hope you're doing well today and seeing your lesson. So I'm assuming that that 1% kind of popped up and you weren't able to make it in today. So here's your video lesson for the week. Feel free to watch this and then shoot me any messages that you have. I'll do my best to answer them quickly for you. Or if you want to send me a backup video response about anything, you know how to do that. So shoot that on over to me if you have any questions. If you go off of what you asked about earlier today, you were talking about two songs, one being Rain Song by Zeppelin and Roundabout by Yes. Both great songs, great choices. I'm going to go with Rain Song today because that one is a bit more manageable. Roundabout is trickier. There's some stuff we need to kind of like talk about first before we get to that that I want to prime for you. So how about we'll do Rain Song today, and then once we go over some more material, we can definitely hit up Roundabout. That's a cool intro. There's like a lot of a lot of fancy fast licks in there. We can talk more about how to develop that speed and the fingerings that he's using in there. That way it won't be so daunting when we actually really talk about it. So cool, man. So I have the notes right here for us. Rain Song, and there's basically like 3 points I want to talk about with today. First one is going to get me ready to play it. Number 2 is like, where do we put our fingers? And then number 3 is the answer to your question is like, what's the rhythm? And you're in luck too, because I have House of the Holy. It's a great, you can buy, it's a 5-book box set that Jimmy Page, I think it says it in here, Jimmy Page actually was editing with the editor on this one, kind of like making sure the guitar parts are right. So this one is published by Alfred. This is just one of the 5 books. It comes in a little, like a slipcase. I think it can be had for like $100, but man, I'll tell you one thing, I got a lot of mileage out of this thing. Because Zeppelin, there's name a bad Zeppelin song. So this one here, House of the Holy, I'll probably send you a picture of what the tab looks like, but that probably is kind of hard to look at unless you have like me to interpret. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all the main points to play this song. So the first thing is that I think you mentioned that you're going to use Chordify to figure out the chords. That works well for the chords, but here's the thing, is that whenever it's an acoustic guitar and it's Zeppelin, good chances that it's actually an altered tuning. Jimmy Page used a ton of different ones, and some make it more obscure than others. Popular ones are Dad-Gad. You would basically tune the guitar D, A, D, G, A, D, Dad-Gad. Oh, no, Dad, D, A, D, Gad, G, A, D. Yeah, there you go, good. I know like that's the way I think is in that tuning. And then you have Kashmir, which is in, I think, like D minor tuning. I think he tunes the G down to an F. There's like, so many different variations on an acoustic guitar, and oh no, I take it back. In That's the Way, Jimmy Page tunes it to an open G tuning down a half step, so it's actually open G flat tuning. He wasn't afraid to turn these pegs and get all kinds of weird tunings. Heavily inspired, I think, by the British folk music. Now the first step is to put your guitar in the correct tuning, and for this you might want to use a clip-on tuner. I've written over here the tuning from the 6th string down to the 1st string, so 6th string being the thickest, 1st string being the thinnest. I've written it that way, and in parentheses I've written like what the actual note is, or what the standard guitar tune note is. The first one in here that you want to do is you want to tune your 6th string down to a D. I'm just going to do it by ear because my tuner is being occupied by my phone right now. So if you try to play this another way in standard tuning, it's just not going to, you might be able to make the chords sound similar, but it won't be the way that Jimmy Page played it. So we'll just have to tune down to this. If you end up using this tuning often, then you can actually have a guitar, since you got an electric guitar, you can actually have a guitar dedicated to a tuning. I do that all the time. I have an acoustic guitar at home in Nashville tuning. I have an electric guitar in drop C tuning, and my Strat usually sits in E flat tuning. And then I have an 8th string that I use in drop E tuning sometimes. I'm playing more genty stuff. So it wouldn't be unusual for you to have a guitar that's like just, this is what the tuning it just lives in, especially if you're using it all the time. I tune my 6th string down to a D, the 5th string down to a G, so you tune it down to a G. So you get your clip-on tuner, you're at an A, you're gonna go down to a G. So you don't want to go higher, you're gonna go lower. then 4 is C. So basically going to go down a whole step. And let's see here, I get my C here. There's a C. That's my party trick, by the way. And then 3 is G, so that one you have to change. Number 2 is C, so you have to tune that up. Oh shoot, wrong way. Almost ruined the whole thing. I almost had to start over again. And then, so C, and then D. D. There you go. So now it's in the tuning. So basically, I tuned my 6th string down to a D. I tuned the G string. Oh, actually, this would be really good for you. So we were talking about one time about theory about half steps and whole steps. You gotta think, how far is E away from D if going down? And E goes down to D a whole step. So you're basically tuning it a whole step down. And then the A is tuned down a whole step down to G. The D is tuned a whole step down to C. G stays the same. The B string is tuned up a half step to C, and then the E string is tuned down. The high E string is tuned down a whole step down to a D. So you can use your theory, your interval theory, or your interval theory to describe how the strings have been tuned. So cool. So that's the first phase right there. Next thing you want to do is get the chord shapes down. We only have so much time today, so I went ahead and just go ahead and gave you the first little bit of the intro, and we'll kind of truck our way through the song. It's actually a great project. So first thing, because there's a lot of little pieces in this, so this will be a bit of a challenge in terms of getting the whole thing down, but it's not. I don't think it's outside of your reach. So first thing is the chord shapes. I've written them right here for you. I've done the first 4. The third chord, the G7 chord, I'll talk to you about how that works. First chord is the G5, and basically what you do is you take your, you'll take your 3rd and 4th finger. Actually, this one. Yeah, use 3rd and 4th finger with this one. And you put it on 7th fret, so 3 on the 4th string. And then you're on the 2nd string, you put your 4th finger. And kind of strum, you hear how it sounds. Now you're gonna be like, well, why don't you use 1 and 2 or 2 and 3? And you're gonna see why in just a minute, why that is. I'm gonna zoom in closer here. So it's this shape. The guitar might go out of tune because it wants to slide back up again. So if it goes out of tune, this is fine for right now. Then we move down to 6th fret with it. A bit more tension. And then we're going down to the 4th fret. So these actually, this moves down from 7 down to 6 down to 5. But if you notice on the 3rd chord, I have it marked as at the 4th fret. That's because your 2nd finger is going to go here on the 3rd string, 4th fret. It's going out a little tune, that's okay though. So 7th fret with 3 and 4, 6th fret, tension chord, 5, 5, and then your middle finger is on the 4. And here's why you use this fingering. Is because if you notice here, you're on the tab, I have written here the pattern. It goes, pinky stays on 5, 5, 5. Your pointer finger is going to grab 3 on the second string, but these guys stay put. So otherwise, that stretch would have been much harder. You had to refinger everything. It's much easier just to do this than to switch the fingering partway through. It's just easier that way. So we have 7, 6, you have 5, 4, 5 here. And what you're going to do, so you do that twice. 1, 2. Pointer finger takes over for second string. Strum it once. And your pointer finger, this is the hard part. Pointer finger's going to have to stretch out and grab the second fret on the second string. So you went from 3 down to 2. And don't worry about bumping the first string. We don't even need that in there. It's not part of the chord. So don't worry about muting that one. We can talk more about stretches next time if you like. If you're having issues with that, I can do some stretching drills. So far we have 6, 5, 4, 5, right, like this. Do that twice. First finger takes over third fret. Stretch out, grab that fret right there on the second fret. Right? So that's how Jimmy Page plays it. Now for the hard part, if that wasn't hard. The next part here is how he plays the rhythm. And I'll just give you a basic idea of how it works, and then we can talk more about it in person, or well, not in person, in Zoom or whatever happens to be next time. Either one's fine with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to that 7 and 7, like the first chord in there. And what the first thing Jimmy Page does, he just kind of strums that chord kind of free. And then he hits the 5th string. There's nothing on there, so you just let that ring out. So it goes 1, down, and 3, 1, hit, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass again. And then this time, now you're here at that 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that time. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bass. You shift down again. You grab that 5, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's probably a good spot to stop right there because that's a lot of information. I'm going to do that one more time. Got the chord shape in. 5th string, nothing on it. We're just going to hit that open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass. 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have this. Pull the recording up so that way I can get more. Oh, wait a minute. I have to pull up my computer. Pull it up here. Sorry, I didn't have it up on the queued up. Let's take me a second. Rain song. Boom. Right, so we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. That's what we've done today so far. One more time. Bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you know some of the strums sound different in there. I don't want to talk about that right now because I just wanted to give you kind of like how it moves around. And then next week we'll talk about those kind of like backwards strums that he does, and then some of the special effects in there. So start this week, and then next week we'll talk about the extra strums and the next part of the song. Cool. It's so in total it will sound like this when we're done with it. There you go. Guitar is starting to slowly slide back up into standard tuning, so it's going to stop this right now and retune this guitar. Cool, man. If you have any questions about any of that or want me to go over anything with a little bit more detail, feel free to shoot me back a message, and I'll be more than happy to oblige. Catch you next weekend. Bye-bye.